What is up, my YouTubers, and welcome to Prison Talk Tuesday. All right, so I have a few things to say for my intro first. One, the things I say in this video is not only the things based on my own opinion, but a few others as well. I will not be using names except for a few of my friends that I have made, but this is the raw truth, and so let's begin. Hello, and welcome to week 6 of Prison Talk. And if you see me in the same outfit as last week's, it's because I'm recording some of these videos all at once so I can kind of move along. All right. So, with week 6, we just talked about the Canary Unit, aka Little Raleigh. All right. So, welcome to the Canary Unit. Now, some people hated it, some people liked it. I loved it because it was less stressful. We weren't in codes like every 5 seconds of the day. Literally everything is in that building. I moved to Canary Wednesday, May 29th. So the layout, basically. And yes, I'm going to give the layout and you can do what you will with it. But basically, you walk in the front door, you have the guard desk like right here, and then you have a hallway this way, which goes down to like office buildings, the nurses station, a what's called a meeting room, and then you have like a little side door that goes the back way to the clothing house and the phones. And then if you go past the guard station, you have the dining hall, which is right there, which you also do visits in. And then with that, you have the hallway. You have the 2 bathrooms. So anytime you come into the Canary Unit as an inmate, you do have to get, what's it called, searched. So you do have to get searched. And then you go in and you're in the day room. And the day room it's an open day room with a very small wall, like a quarter wall. Not, well, I mean, it's a wall, but it's like lengthwise. It's like, they have a guard desk. And then you have lockers on this side, which I don't know what they hold. I guess the guard stuff or whatever. But you have the guard station. Right next door to that, you have the canteen shop. Then we have tables on either side of the guard desk, which has a hot water heater and a microwave. Oh yes, we had a microwave. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound so excited, but when you come from the main campus and you don't have microwaves, and I know that sounds like not really like a big deal, but trust me, as a first-time prisoner, it was a huge deal. The hot water units I was used to because we had those in the C dorm, so I didn't really matter with that. But then on the, if you're looking at the guard desk, like if I'm looking at the screen and you are my guard desk, on the left-hand side they had the A and B dorms, which are down a hallway in their little day room area. Then you had the couches, you had a TV up top. Then you go outside that door and you had the E unit, which housed all the work release people. And that was like our little rec yard. And it was a big rec yard. I mean, it was a pretty decent sized big rec yard. I mean, we had picnic tables, we had benches. There was a basketball court. You could play volleyball. I mean, it was actually like an actual real like place. And then you had the 2 kiosks that you can use and the phones, and there was 4 phones, and then the clothing house again. And then on like directly on the other side of the guard's house was the laundry room. And then on the right hand side, you had, like I said, you had the lockers, you had another door. There was another courtyard out there. We couldn't go out there. I don't know why we could never go out there, but there was another courtyard on that side. Then you had the C and D dorms, and then the same thing with the couches and the TVs. We had 2 TVs, lots of couches. In the middle, where that half wall thing is, or quarter wall thing is, there was another table, and that had the coolers with the water, like cold water. Well, cold-ish water. There's usually 2 to 3 coolers, and then on each side before the hallways, there's other coolers of water as well. Then they each had their bathrooms. The bathrooms were awesome because they actually had real stalls. I mean, like actual real stalls. They weren't like half doors. And they actually had doors that locked. The showers were actually full wall showers instead of half wall showers. We didn't have any shower curtains, but I mean, that didn't really bother me. But I mean, when you get in the showers, you didn't really, you had enough privacy. We'll put it that way. I mean, you could see the other girls, but it was a lot more private. Obviously, they had a bathtub, but obviously that didn't work. They had a really long bench, like a wooden bench that you could put your clothes on, and then they had a top metal rack that you can hang your stuff on and stuff. So it was a lot nicer. They had, I think, 6 showers. They had 6 showers and I think 8 toilets. I can't remember how many toilets exactly, but um, what was nice is that you technically they said you can't take showers all day long. You can, as long as you're not in the code, you can take a shower anytime you wanted to. Um, and a lot of people like taking showers. I found out between like right after dinner. So we go into count at 5 p.m., which is right after dinner. And we can be in count for an hour, we can be in count for 2 hours. But a lot of people like to take showers right after dinner. So you kind of want to plan it. I found out the best time to take showers is pretty much right after lunch or right before lunch. And the reason why is because a lot of people like to sleep or a lot of people are in classes. So the showers are more available. Um, Now, the hot water, we had a hot water issue. Um, Sometimes the hot water would work, sometimes it wouldn't. Sometimes it would burn your skin off, and then other times they did turn off the hot water during the summertime, and we'd have cold water, which was really nice. It was a little annoying because a lot of us did still like that hot water because we didn't feel like we were that clean with the cold water. But to be honest, um, with no air conditioning, oh, that's another thing. I know I talked about last week how they promised how we were going to get the heat and air, how they renovated it. No. Oh no, but we'll get there. Um, but yeah, so we had to turn on the sinks to balance out the water temperature, which was kind of annoying, but not really. But yeah, there was really no flooding issues, which was so nice. The toilets did break down every once in a while. We did have one toilet that we flushed it like once or twice and it would just keep running. I swear it ran for like 2 weeks. I mean, it wouldn't stop flushing. It was kind of hilarious, actually. We called it the possessed toilet. But, and then obviously you get your normal people who stuff feminine products down the toilets. I mean, that's common. Um, I'm not going to say common, but it's common. But yeah, the showers are actually fairly decent and clean. You do get shower. Well, when I got to prison, you get shower shoes. A few months later, they stopped giving them out, and they had to make you buy them, or you had to request them if you were indigent, which I think was stupid because that's a hygiene issue. So that's another thing why this prison needs to be shut down because they stopped giving hygiene items out, or they would run out of hygiene items. Oh, they give you all the free bars of soap you wanted to, which the prison soap wasn't that bad. I will say that. Um, so, but that's another reason why you want somebody approved so they can buy you or put money on your books so you can buy hygiene. Luckily, the Canary unit had the girls. That's where I met a lot of the girls that I really liked. I did meet a lot of girls in the C dorm. I befriended a couple of them. I did find them on Facebook, and one lady I didn't get to tell her goodbye before I left for Canary, and I really liked her. We talked a lot about Carolyn Beach, um, and I feel kind of bad for her. She did get out. She was only there for a brief moment, but I she was a really cool person. But then I totally lost my train of thought. um, but yeah, the showers it was so much. I will say cleaner and not cleaner at the same time. But most of the non-clean parts were just the people in general and the things that they were doing, not so much the shower and stuff. But yeah, so canteen. Basically, canteen. It was still the same day. You had a certain day that you went to canteen, and I was. This is funny. I was housed in the C dorm in the main unit or in the main campus, and then I was housed in the C like pod in this uh in Canary. So basically, let's say it's Monday and it's your day to go to canteen. What you do is you get your canteen list, and which I have. canteen list. So what you do is, here's an example of how to do a canteen list. And yes, I did take these, but I don't know if you guys want to pause this. I don't know if you guys can even read that. Um, this is obviously not my handwriting. This is somebody else's, but um, basically during the week, Monday through Friday is a 7-line day, and then during the weekend is a 4-line day. And only on 7-line days can you order your non-hygiene products, so like headphones and batteries and stuff like that. You can order hygiene any of those other days, the 7-line or the 4-line days. Sometimes if they want to get rid of some of the products, they do an extra free line, and it's not free items. It's just like you have 8 lines instead of 7. Um, but this is what you do. You get your sheet like this, and you just go through it, and it says your prices on there, which are 1,000 times cheaper than jail. And this changes every canteen. They get products in, I think, like I don't know how often they get products in there. Like we'll say like once a week, twice a week, something like that. But yeah, you go through all this, you write down how many items you want. You can only get, like, let's say you want ramen noodles. You can only get 3 ramen noodles. So like you want a chicken ramen noodles, you can only get 3 chicken ramen noodles. Um, if you want a pop, you can only get 1 pop of each kind. So you can only get like 1 Coke, 1 Sprite, 1 Dr. Pepper. Um, and then you couldn't get like 2 of those. You can, if you wanted, they have bundles. And when I mean bundles, it means like peanut butter, jelly, um, let's see, sugar, any of the condiments like ranch dressing, mayonnaise. Those are all bundles. Hot chocolate was a bundle. Um, Coffee wasn't a bundle because it came in a bigger bag. I'm trying to think of what else was a bundle. But either way, you can do a bundles. Bundles you can only do on 7-line days. And those are separate because those, so you have your 7 lines, then you can do your bundles, which are separate. Then you can do your hygiene, and then you can do your non-hygiene items. So that was kind of nice. And I have like a ton of receipts. Basically, what they do afterwards is they just give you a receipt of what you ordered, and then each week they come around. Well, they're supposed to each week. They're supposed to come around with a receipt, and this is like how much money you have and how much money, like if somebody put money on your books, it tells you how much money is on your books and then how much money is left. Um, and then you can only order up to a certain amount of canteen per week. So at the very, very end, it says like your new spendable limit. So that's what you had to spend that week. And when I say week, I mean like within your 2 canteen days. So, um, yeah, I think the very first canteen day, what I did is I ordered all of my hygiene items, shampoo, soap, conditioner, razors. You can order razors. You can only order 1 razor every 30 days. If you are indigent, you do get a one blade razor every 30 days. If you do have money on your books, you can order a 2-blade razor. And then if you are able to get a box, they do have loofahs in there. They do not have razors, but they have really good toothpaste. They have really good toothbrushes. They do have toothbrush holders, soap holders. I mean, they have a lot of like stuff. So, in my opinion, this is just purely my opinion. First thing to do is get your hygiene items. I understand that you might want snacks and you might want ramen noodles because you're starving. Because let's face it, you're pretty much. I didn't really care for a lot of snacks. I ordered the things I knew I would need, like pens, paper, envelopes, stamps. You can order as many stamps as you wanted. It was, I think, stamps were 68 cents, and then I know they went up in price. Nope, they were still 68 cents for stamps, and you can order as many as you wanted. So if you needed 10 stamps, just know that that's $6.80. But you can order really nice like face wash. They had like oil Belay stuff. Um, they had denture stuff. I mean, they have a lot of stuff. It's prison, so they try to do as best as they can, Um, and then what else? We did have, which was great, besides the canteen items. Oh, that's what I was gonna say, canteen. So after you write to the your stuff, then you fold it up in a piece of paper. You write your inmate number and your name, but you have to have your ID. That's another reason why you have to have your ID. You give your ID, you wrap it up into your canteen thing. Now, obviously, if it's lunch or dinner time and the canteen worker has your ID, they're not supposed to let you have meals without your ID, but if you say the canteen worker has it, but usually they tell you just go get your ID because the guards don't care. They don't care about you in canteen. No, they care about you eating, or they don't care about you eating. It doesn't matter. So if you want to eat, because let's face it, were some days that you actually did want the food because it was really good. But this is just like here's a list of like some things that I was going to order in case you guys want to know. What I also did, which is hilarious, is when I was in the C dorm still, I took, oh, by the way, the prices on canteen changed all the time. So um, most of them do stay the same, most of them. But you really have to watch because I found out stamps did go up. And I think it was no, coffee. Coffee went up, and I think something else went up once. And I was like, huh. But what I did when I was still in the C dorm is I wrote down, yes, this is how bored I was and how anal I was. I wrote down everything possible that I could ever want off the list and off of any list. I went through the list because I did not get my first canteen order, I think, until I almost moved to Canary. But I wrote down everything I possibly could want or need. And then I wrote down meal ideas um, with the prison food or the box food that in case I didn't want to go to the dining hall one day. And then I would circle or cross out what I've already got. Because like some things you don't need all the time. Like it took me forever, and I will say forever, to buy headphones. One, because there are two different prices of headphones. I got the cheapest ones. They don't last that long, but they work really, really, really well. Because headphones can go anywhere from $10 to $15. And but like I was lucky enough to get a free radio from somebody. The only problem is that if you can hear anything in the background, I apologize. But the thingy that tunes in would like randomly like slowly like tune like up or down. So that was really nice. I was lucky enough to be able to trade some things for a lock and key. Oh no, I bought somebody 2 bags of coffee. And then I got a lock and key. Um, what else did I get for free? I think um I got a hairbrush for free from somebody. Um, so yeah, that's another thing. If you know that somebody wants something that okay, let's say you want 2 Pepsis and you know you can't order 2 Pepsis, you can always barter. You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to barter and trade. You will get written up for it, but let's face it, everybody does. Just don't make it obvious, obviously. Moving forward, um, the library, medications, therapy, and psych. So we did have a library in our unit. That was actually on the A and B side. It was a small library, but it was worth it. You can go to the library every single day. As long as the library is open, you can go to the library every single day. You can only check out one book at a time, though. I read so many books. I don't have the list on me. I'll have to. Um, my goal was to read at least 200 books while I was in prison. I read, I want to say I read a little over that. There are some books I started and I didn't finish, and so I didn't count those. But yeah, I want to say in the time, from the time I got out of reception to the time I moved or got released, I think I read over 200 books. But I don't know if that's a lot or not. But I found a lot of good books, and I wrote down all the titles and the authors in case I ever want to check them out later on, and in case you guys ever want a good book list. Like I said, I can find that list and maybe share that in a different video. About all the books. There's a lot of things I'm going to share in different weeks, but medication, therapy, and psychs, that was all in that unit. You have the therapist come and then just refer you to the psych. The psych comes and talks about medication. You don't really see them that often. I think I saw them 3 times since I was in the Canary unit, which really wasn't bad. And then they have your meds. Medication, you had 3 times of the day to get medications. I only took mine in the morning. And it depends because the night nurse sometimes would allow us AM people to have our meds at like 4 a.m., which I definitely loved that because then I could sleep in at 8 because we had 9 a.m. count. You had to be dressed and out of your covers. You can lay on top of your blankets, but you had to be dressed and out of your blankets at 8 a.m. because that's when classes started and everything. But you can sleep all day long if you wanted to. You just couldn't be underneath your blankets, which, let's face it, some of us did. Um, that's only because, oh, I didn't tell you the dorm layout. We had the guard station out in the day room. So, like, we were pretty much on our own in our own, like, little pods. So, the guards did come back there, but they didn't really come back there often unless it was count time. So, or unless something's happening. So, you pretty much could get away with sleeping under your blankets. But that's just me. Um, and honestly, they don't really do much if you're underneath your blankets. Just as long as you know that it's count time and you act like you're not sleeping underneath them. You do have to have your bed made, but again, there's ways around it. There are lots of ways around it. Let's see, classes. So there is, let's see, I put FOF and HRD. I don't remember what those are, but basically, full time and I think it's full time and part time. Basically, classes. If you were in classes or if you are in ACDP, you had to you had to have you had to have your ID, you had to have your shirt tucked in, which I don't think any of us did actually have our shirts tucked in, come to think of it. But you would basically wait for transportation to take you to the main unit, and then you would get searched. You'd sign in at the front at the intake desk, put your ID up there for them to have, and then you get searched, and then you take your ID, you go to class, and then you come back to intake afterwards, and you wait for transportation to come back. And when you come back, if you are in a daytime class, you get searched. I was lucky enough to be in a nighttime class where we were supposed to be searched, but we weren't. So that was great because we had the lazy guards at night and they didn't really care to do it. I think I got searched like maybe twice in the classes I took. And that's with anything. If you need to go to the main unit for any reason at all, dentist, cosmetology, medical, anything, you basically have to be dressed in the proper clothes. You have to have your ID and you sign in and then you get searched no matter what. Which, if you go to the Robin unit, which is medical, you don't get searched. So I don't know why. You do get searched when you come back, but you don't get searched when you go there. But that's beside the point. Transportation was a different issue. So sometimes they didn't care about us having classes in the Canary unit. Oh no, they didn't care. They would they would announce it. They say, hey, if anybody's going to class or anybody needs to go up to the main unit, come up now. And they would announce it a couple times to give you enough chances to make sure that you're up front. You do have to sign out in the day room. You do have to sign out at the guard station, and then to go to the main unit. And you can't just go to the main unit without having a reason why, because when you get to intake, they do ask you why. So you can't just go up there and just roam around. Because some people have tried that, trust me. And they do get in trouble because they can't be accommodated during count time. So yeah, that's a whole different issue. Meals. So if you have a daytime class or if you're up there during the daytime, meals are a fun thing because sometimes they don't feed the canary unit lunches. They're supposed to. Let's see, I'm trying to think of, you break from class to go get lunch. And if there's a day where they had only, they were serving people in their dorms, I don't really know what they did then. I never had that issue. I wasn't going over there during lunchtime, and the only few times I went over there during lunchtime, I was in the medical unit for dentist and something else, I think, and we got our lunches brought to us. So, um, oh yes, the no AC introduced to fans. So, like they promised us AC units, we had to have stand-up fans. I mean, we did have two fans, two wall fans in the back of our dorms or pods, whatever. And oh my God, the fans, the fights over the fans, the fights over the fans. You could probably imagine. You have 34 girls in one little tiny open bunk area, and the fights with fans. We had, I think, we'll say four fans. So you had two, well, minus the wall fans. So you had six fans total. We had four standing floor fans, and we were supposed to rotate them every 3 hours. So some people did, some people didn't. And the fights over the fans. And when I say fights, I mean the fights about how often we're supposed to rotate them, who's cold, who's hot. And I was on a bed that luckily I was on top bunk, so I got circulation, but the bed underneath me and the bed right next to us had like no circulation. I felt so bad for those girls because they were dripping in sweat half the time. Um, I mean, I felt bad, but you know what I mean. Drug screens. If you have any type of job, like if you're a janitor, if you do the grounds, if you work in the canteen, if you work in the kitchen, or just in general, if they suspect that you have or taking prescription drugs that you're not supposed to, they can do random drug screens. Now, anybody who's in work release or has a job obviously gets drug screened. It could be random. So if you fail them, obviously you get written up and then you get fired. And then if you're in work release and you fail, obviously you get fired. And you're supposed to be fired and moved back up the main unit, but I think they just got fired and written up. In-person visits. We did not have virtual visits in the Canary unit. We had in-person visits only. Sorry, just Millie here. And we had them in the dining hall. You had to bring your ID. You had only 1 hour per week. It was Saturdays only, 9 to 11. So you had to pick either 9. It was 9 a.m., 11 a.m. was the cutoff. Your uniform again. You had to have your shirt tucked in. Your people couldn't wear hats, etc., etc. No logos or something like that. Jim came. My first visit to see him. Now, I got incarcerated in January. First time I saw Jim was Saturday, June 8th. The second time was June 22nd, and then I didn't see him until I got home. Just because there's transportation issues, just because of work and everything else at the house. But yeah, I think that's everything that I'm talking about now. Like I said, I will try to find my library list if I can, if you guys would like that. Again, I'm probably sure I'm leaving things out, but I can always include them next time in a different week. And on that note, thoughts, comments, questions, or concerns or advice, you guys can list those below. Make sure to follow me on my socials because I do post teasers to all my videos. And until week 7, you guys stay awesome. Bye. If you have been or know somebody who has been incarcerated in New Hanover County, if you have been if you If you personally have been or know somebody who has been or is still currently incarcerated in North Carolina Correctional Institution for Women located in Raleigh, North Carolina, and would like to help do something about helping these women out, please like this video, comment below, and share this video. We need to be the voices on the outside to help these females. Please be kind to each other in the comments and stay awesome. Bye.